Let's discuss about coordinate plane today. Suppose a person is sailing in a boat. He wants to go to this particular point here. He can go in the forward direction like this. If he wants to go to this point here, he can go backwards. If for some reason he wants to go to a point here, if it is possible for him, he can go in the upward direction. If for some reason he wants to go into the water, deep into the water, to this point, he can go downwards in the downward direction like this. So this is the point at which he is right now. This is called a reference point. From the reference point, he can go in this direction or this way or in this direction backward or downward. Let's divide this line here into parts or units. These are the units of this line. Let's divide the other side also, this line, into units again. These units will be named -1, -2, -3 and so on because they are in the opposite direction, in the backward direction. Let's divide this part also. Into units. This is upward direction, so positive. Let's denote the parts of this line using negative numbers because this is downward direction. Let's denote these units using negative numbers. From the reference point, if he wants to go to this particular point, he can go forward like this. To go to this point, he can go upwards. To go to a point here, he needs to move forward 3 units, 3 points, and then he can go downward 4 units. To go to this point, he can go backwards 7 units. So if he has to go here, he has to go 4 units backward and then 4 units downward. So this is called a coordinate plane where we have x-axis and y-axis. X-axis is the horizontal line, y-axis is the vertical line. They both meet or intersect at 90-degree angle, which means they are perpendicular to each other. This is called the horizon. This is the coordinate plane here. We have axis, x-axis and y-axis. These are perpendicular to each other. This reference point is called the origin. Suppose there is a point here. We can go from here to this point directly, or we can go 2 points on the x-axis and 3 points in the direction of y-axis, that is vertically. This is denoted by a pair of coordinates where we have x coordinate and y coordinate. X coordinate indicates how far the point is on the x-axis from the origin. The y coordinate indicates how far the point is from the origin in the direction of y-axis. It is 3 units here. So x coordinate and y coordinate put together makes a coordinate pair. We have the x coordinate and y coordinate together in a coordinate pair. We have a point here. Let's try to find the coordinates. Let's find what the coordinate pair is. That is the x coordinate and y coordinate. This particular point is 3 units from the origin on the x-axis, but in a negative direction, in a backward direction. So the x coordinate should be -3. This particular point is 2 units from the origin in the direction of y-axis. So -3, 2 is the coordinate pair. Let's take another point here. This point is 3 units from the origin in the direction of y-axis. So 3 is the x coordinate. It is 3 units from the origin in the direction of y-axis, but in a backward direction. So let's give it a negative number. So -3. Let's take another example. There is a point here. Let's try writing the x coordinate. It is 4 units from the origin on the x-axis, but in a negative direction backwards. So we should write -4. It is 2 units from the reference point origin in the direction of y-axis, but in a backward direction. So we need to put minus because it is in a downward direction. So this is an ordered pair where we have x coordinate and y coordinate. So we have a plane here. This is the origin, the reference point. The origin is always 0, 0. The x and y coordinates are 0, 0. Let's do some practice. We have a plane here and we have some items. Let's try to find the x and y coordinates, the coordinate pair. Let's try to find for this. The x coordinate is 3 units from the origin on the x-axis in the forward direction. So 3, and then it is 1 unit on the y-axis, upward direction. For this one, it is 1 unit from the origin but in the backward direction. So we need to put negative there. -1, and it is 2 units from the origin in the direction of y-axis. It is upward, so just 2. Let's try to find this one here. It is 2 units from the origin on the x-axis but in a negative direction, in a backward direction. So -2, it is 1 unit from the origin in the direction of y-axis but in a downward direction, in a negative direction. So -1 is the y coordinate. Let's try to find the coordinate pair for this one. It is 3 units from the origin on the x-axis in the positive direction, forward direction. So 3 is the x-coordinate. On the y-axis, it is 2 units from the origin, but in the downward direction, in the negative direction. So -2 is the y-coordinate. Let's try to find the coordinate pair, x and y coordinates for this one. It is 3 units from the origin but in the negative direction, in the backward direction. So -3. It is 1 unit from the origin in the direction of y-axis, in the upward direction, in the positive direction, not downward. So +1. So this is the origin where the house is. The coordinates are 0, 0. The area that is enclosed by positive x and positive y axis is called quadrant 1, denoted by a Roman numeral. The area enclosed by negative x and positive y is quadrant 2. The area enclosed by a negative x and negative y, both are negative. This is quadrant 3. And the last quadrant is the area which is enclosed by positive x and negative y. This is quadrant 4. These are the 4 quadrants into which we divide the coordinate plane. Where does the point -3, 4 lie? Can you think? X coordinate, the x coordinate is negative here and y coordinate is positive. It is this particular area, negative x and positive y. The area enclosed by these two is quadrant 2, so it falls into quadrant 2.